A few months ago, this plant was thriving. It had tight inner nodes, larger leaves, aggressive growth, and honestly, it looked like two leaves were coming out at once. Then, unfortunately, I moved it. The light was still good, just not good enough, and the plant immediately told me by producing smaller leaves, longer spacing, and just stretching everywhere. It went from this compact and mature plant to something that was unstable almost overnight. So instead of starting over, I decided to rebuild it strategically. Over the last few weeks, I air layered 4 different points to force root development before cutting. Today, 3 of those sections have fully established roots, and now it's time for the next step, chopping this plant apart and rebuilding it into a fuller, stronger version of itself. The goal isn't just propagation, the goal is structure, stability, and getting this plant back to the growth pattern it had before I changed the environment. So, in this video, I'm going to walk through where I'm cutting, how I'm handling the rooted air layers, how I'm arranging the plant in the new pot, why I'm staying in a chunky soil mix instead of semi hydro, and how I'm setting this plant up for long term mature growth. So, let's cut this thing apart. So, as I mentioned, I have 4 sections. The bottom one, which you're seeing on the screen right now, actually, the last I checked, did not have any roots. So before I actually cut that, I'm actually going to start cutting right above that section. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the Velcro strap that has been stabilizing this. I have my scissors, which I've already cleaned with alcohol, and I'm going to make a cut literally right above the, right below, I'm sorry, the air layering bulb. All right. And so with that, I can actually take the Velcro straps off of the remaining portion that is holding it. And you'll be able to see the difference between the top and the bottom. As you can see, the bottom is pretty full. There is some stretching there, but um, there is very little space, but internodal spacing. Whereas this one is almost the same height, but it has half the leaves. The leaves are a lot smaller, as you can see. I mean, this one is extremely small. These are all, this one is a little bit bigger, so this one looks okay, but this one is smaller. And I think that this one, after I moved it back, so these two came after I moved it back to the area of lighting, those are much, much bigger. I also want to show you what the roots look like. That is the second bulb or the middle bulb. You can kind of see what the roots look like. Here is, let me see if you could see this one. Here is this bulb. It has a lot of white roots in it. And then the top has the most roots in it. Significant amount of roots. So I'm going to do 3 more cuts right below each one. So here's one area. Here is the next area. And here is the last one. And this one will have 3 leaves attached to it because I did not put an air bulb on this part. So this will be this section. Each one of these will be placed inside of the main pot. So I'm going to set these to the side for now. And here is our main pot. And I'm going to, again, there is this other bulb that's here. So before I cut this bulb, I want to take a look at it and see, are there actually any roots growing in this bulb? And it looks like there are not. So since there are not any roots there, and the stem still feels pretty firm, I'm going to not do anything with this particular bulb. So I just removed the bulb right from this section right here, and it'll firm back up now that I have removed the bulb. So I'm going to keep it off for now. All right. This is actually what I was hoping to see. The roots are clearly wrapped all around the sphagnum moss, which is one of the significant benefits of doing air layering as opposed to traditional propagation. And this holds true, especially for mature plants. This is the top cutting, and no surprise that the roots are heavily more established because it's getting the most support from the plant. This is the middle cutting, and you can clearly see the difference. While it has a lot of root still, you can see that the leaf is also a little bit smaller. You can also start to see that there is significant internodal spacing, one of the reasons why we did the cut. And here is the bottom cutting. The leaf is larger because this is before the leaf that was last pushed out before I made the move. But you can also start to see that there is significant internodal spacing. You can also see that there is less roots in this one compared to the other two, but still it has a lot of roots. So instead of just chopping this plant up randomly, I'm going to rebuild the structure intentionally. And I'm going to be putting it on a coco coir pole, and I'm going to be positioning each of the pieces of the plant around the coco coir so that it'll give a much more fuller look instead of just relying on a single plant, which is what I was doing with this one. And again, while it looked beautiful, there is absolutely nothing on the other side, and we're going to change that. So one of these is going to climb aggressively. So I'm going to position this in a location of the pole so that it will climb aggressively. The middle piece is going to be pushed towards the front to give a much more fuller look in the middle. And then I'm going to also position this piece attached to the pole towards the right side. So each will serve a different purpose. I'm also going to keep this in a chunky soil mix. And so let's talk about this. I'm going to use a larger perlite to help the soil stay aerated. I'm going to mix that with some pine bark to help with moisture retention. And I'm going to also mix in some peat-free soil. So these three will make a chunky soil mix that the plant will love. But I don't want to add any more stress. And that's exactly what would happen if I went over to semi-hydro. So doesn't mean that I will never look at converting this plant to semi-hydro. But for now, we're going to stick with a chunky soil mix to introduce the least amount of stress as possible. So the next thing that we're going to do is prep our pot. I've already affixed the coco coir pole. I used a hot glue gun and a nail to fix it on here. So that's how you can see that it's stable. You'll also notice that I have some wicks. I will not be using these wicks at this point in time. I will not be using the wicks until this plant is stable. So we're talking about 6 to 8 weeks from now before I will use this reservoir and these wicks to help create stability in the moisture of the plant. But I have them put in place just because I don't want to have to add them later. So I will primarily be top watering. I'll be doing very little bottom watering during this time because, again, my goal is to allow this plant to establish itself and not overwhelm it by creating too much water or too much moisture in the soil too quickly. But I do have them in place, although I will not be using them at this time. So the first thing that we will do is prepare our chunky soil mix. So I have a container here.
The biggest risk after repotting is overwatering. Fresh air layer roots dry out faster, are less resilient, and are still adapting from sphagnum into soil.
All right, I'm going to put some in the bottom.
Success will be the direct result of stable moisture and maximum oxygen, which can be achieved with the chunky soil mix.
All right, I'm putting a little less in the front because that is where the main part of the plant is going to go. And so I'm just going to move this over to the side for now. And I'm going to move this to the side while I prep our plant.
It will be important to appropriately prep the original rooted base so it also adjusts well. The original base likely has multiple dormant nodes. It could also have suppressed axillary buds from the previous growth dominance. These will need to activate in order to ensure future growth from the original base.
So here is our plant, and I'm just going to loosen this soil up just a little bit.
Once the top was removed, apical dominance was broken. That means that the base can now activate one or multiple growth points. The most likely scenario for the original base is that the new growth will emerge from the highest viable node closest to the cut. That is usually the fastest response point. However, because this plant was vigorous previously, there is a reasonable chance that we'll get secondary lower activation too, especially under strong light.
Okay, so I let me tell you what I have done so far. So I have the main plant positioned toward the front of the pot, or I guess towards the back, depending on how you like to look at it. And then I have a little bit of soil in the bottom of the pot, and this is where in the back and towards the sides, and this is where I'm going to fit in the other three propagation pieces. And so I'm going to start with the top piece. This piece has the highest probability of climbing because, again, this is where most of the energy is going. And so I am going to place this in the back or opposite the main primary plant, closest to the pole because I want this to climb the most. And like I said, it already has, it's in active growth mode. So I'm going to take off the propagation bulb. Whoa, look at these roots. It literally is rooting in a, oh my goodness, it's got multiple growth points too. Wow, I've seen nothing like this. Look at that. Look at that. And it's already like pushing other pieces out. So I'm not going to remove the sphagnum moss from this at all. I'm literally going to put this in the pot as is, just like this. I'm going to stick it in there just like that. But I'm also going to make sure that I have um, sufficient soil around it. So I'm going to take some of this existing soil, and I just repotted this plant not too long ago. So I'm going to put a little bit of this chunky mix in there because this is also a chunky mix. It's just a little wet, and I'm going to mix it with some of the dry soil as well. I'm going to put this down in there, and then I'm going to stick this in there. Here we go. And then I'm going to take a piece of Velcro and I'm going to stick this on here. And here's what it's going to look like before I put the soil in there. So before I stick any additional soil in, I'm going to get our second piece. And here we go. And let's just take a look at this one before I stick it into the pot. I'm going to take off. Yeah, I think it's just sphagnum moss. So here we go. Here is the other piece. You can see it has way less roots than the other one, but we're going to keep this one intact. And I'm going to put this one over to the side, but more kind of pointing away a little bit from. And here you go. That's how that one is going to be. So you can see that too. And then we have enough room for one more. And this is the bottom one. And I'm going to take this one off as well. And again, there we go. You can see this one has quite a bit of roots. And I'm going to stick this one over here on this side. And let's.
New growth activation timing may differ dramatically for each of these sections. The likely order will be that the top cutting will continue first.
All right. And let me just let you take a look at that, where all these three pieces are. And then I'm going to backfill it with the soil. I'm going to use a little bit of this drier mix because it's easier to go down and in between.
The original base will activate second, and the middle cuttings will activate the slowest.
Okay, I think we've gotten this right. All right, look at that. Now we have this. Ooh, this side is a little bit dense, but it will fill in eventually. This side is a little, obviously, the fuller side. And This side is the denser side, but it will fill in eventually. So this is the final finished look of our plant. And now we're just going to monitor it for the next several weeks, like 4 to 6 weeks, to allow the roots to fully establish. I'm going to put it in the area where it's getting all of this great light so it can continue to be stable in its light. Again, I'm not going to use the reservoir. I'm going to do top watering for the next 4 to 6 weeks until I see it continue to push out new leaves on all of the new propagation pieces. So stay tuned for another update. It will definitely be coming soon. I'm very excited and very happy with how this plant is looking so far. If you're still here, thank you for watching, and stay rooted and stay reckless.